fucking throwing shade, dude.
Shade, dude.
I
Dude, you're the one, you brought up fucking merch. You don't even want to talk about that shit.
Dude, I do want to talk about fucking merch, dude. I was scared to talk about it. I was like, does Eric really want to talk about merch? Because I do.
There's got to be a lot of teal. That was a joke before the podcast.
I know, dude. We got to catch everybody up. So far, we come up with long sleeve shirts that
Galaxy
are either
arms and then white shirt, but it's like jersey style.
yeah,
like a
baseball
jersey.
I feel like that could kill baseball shirts. I feel like were pretty popular like
For
10
years ago.
10 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
They're due back, dude. They're fucking
back.
due.
Fashion's a cycle, if we know anything.
Yes. I don't know anything else about fashion, actually. That's the only thing I know. I'm always off on it.
'Cause, dude, we're in the 90s now. Like, back in the 2000s, it was the 80s, you know?
You know, I was thinking
90s was the 70s. So right now, we're pretty much just doing the 70s.
I think it's just really all people just getting nostalgic for when they... Is it nostalgic or nostalgic? I feel like a dick
Either
when I
way
say...
is fine.
I feel like a dick if I say nostalgic. It's like feels like a more pretentious way to say it. Nostalgic or naivete. It's like, dude, shut up. But I feel like it's just all has to do with like people when they get our age, they're like, remember the 90s? And like, so I was watching, for some reason they've been playing That 70s Show a ton on Comedy Central, like non-fucking stop.
I love That 70s Show.
Yeah, dude. But that came out when? Like in the late 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
So that was just all people then that were our age then that were like, you know, it'd be dope, a show that reminds me of the 70s. And then that happened. I feel like at That 90s Show, maybe not called That 90s Show, but almost maybe.
There was That 80s Show.
Yeah, but they came out too
it was
early.
like 10 episodes, and they're all really bad.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I was thinking about that. That was the one thing that stopped me from thinking it was a good idea because I was like, That 80s Show was a terrible spinoff. But
it's really bad.
But
I watched all That 70s Show in high school, and then I was like, I should watch That 80s Show. And I couldn't even get through the first episode.
was it the same characters?
No, it was a completely different cast.
Well, that's
and
where
then
they fucked
in the
up.
80s. Yeah, exactly.
You got to bring back everybody.
You gotta at least have like one of them come back as a dad now or something. Even
Yeah.
that's only like a year later.
I was actually watching this morning. There was an episode from like 2006. It was the last season where like Foreman wasn't even on it anymore.
Yeah, it got weird because I think he did. See, like how late did That 70s Show? I feel like That 70s Show was like early 2000s. I don't think it was 90s.
I think it might have come out first season in like 98 or 99, possibly.
I don't know because I think like he quit That 70s Show to do like acting
That
in
80s show.
movies. And he was in the third Spider-Man.
He was in the first one, wasn't he? No, that was the other guy.
Tobey Maguire.
Who reminds me exactly of
Same
him.
guy, yeah. Toby, whatever the guy's Spider. Eric.
He was Venom. Topher,
No, but what was Topher Grace?
Topher Grace was Venom.
Yeah.
And the other one. Which
What a shitty first name. Topher?
Topher. Well, I think it was Christopher, right? But who came out with Topher?
I don't know, dude. I guess the last part of the name.
Yeah, that makes sense. But why? Like,
I don't know.
they were like, nah, Chris, no, we're going with the other two syllables, Topher.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I don't know.
A
I
lot
got him
of parents
famous.
let their kid do that.
I got him famous, dude.
I guess.
Ashton, only dude. Ashton Kutcher, the only dude named Ashton I've ever met. I've met a couple girls named Ashton, but never a dude named Ashton. All the people's names in that were weird.
Do you think it's short
Mila,
for Sebastian? And he took the last part.
Sebastian,
Sebastian Kutcher.
dude. Now they all their fucking names are Mila Kunis. That's a weird fucking name.
Amelia, dude. She took the name.
They're all just fucking weird ass nicknames for normal fucking names, dude.
The laughs are the
I
name.
have never been super attracted to Mila Kunis. She doesn't do it for me, dude. I think it's because she does Meg's voice in Family Guy.
Yeah, so like you're trained to think she's like the Duff.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like I see her in that. She's in this new fucking Jim Beam commercial. Have you seen that one where she's like?
I
she's
don't really
just-
watch like cable TV, so I don't
True,
see
true,
commercials
dude.
anymore.
I'm just too 90s, dude. I'm all about
dude,
cable TV,
dude. The other week, Jimmy was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to get cable again." I'm sure in the '90s, watching all that on cable television. You can't watch all that on public access. Gotta buy a fucking dish now.
kind of convinced that that's something. Did I say that?
No. You've had cable at your apartment ever since you moved in, dude.
I was like, when did I say that? I was really bullshitting. I already do that.
Nah, dude, my impression of you is just spot on. I can just improv scenes that you may have done.
Just plant those memories in my
Yeah,
head,
dude.
dude, like fucking
Memento,
Zoolander.
dude. Don't trust my lies.
Dude, but no, honestly, okay. So what the fuck was that? Oh, anyway, before I get onto that fucking thing, the thing with Mila Kunis, and she's in this commercial and she's like talking all like trying to be hot, I guess, like the way women talk when they're trying to be hot on commercials. They're like, "Blah, blah, blah, Jim Beam."
Yeah, like
so good.
raspy or like wispy
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
in their
yeah.
voice. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't buy it, dude. I don't. It's not doing it for me.
Jim Beam's not like a wispy voice.
It's also not the kind of.
That'd be like a 3 Olives commercial. Be like, if you want to get your margarita right. Or
I almost feel like the whiskey market, you gotta have like a really manly looking dude, like a fucking Ryan Gosling from Crazy Stupid Love kind of guy.
you just gotta have some dude like. If I made a whiskey commercial, it'd be fucking
Teal.
GoPro on a fucking shot glass, and it's just banging back shots. And then the rest of the video is just POV of just like snapshots of the night.
I feel like that's
And
a
then
tequila
dude
commercial.
just passes the fuck out.
That
and
is-
then that's the commercial. And
That's
it's
a good.
Evan Williams, Green Label, 5% more alcohol per volume. Gets you fucked up quicker, especially if you drink it lukewarm.
Dude, exactly. Out of styrofoam cups.
Yeah, no Miller High Life this week. We got
Yeah,
the
we're brought to you
Green
by
Label.
Evan Williams Green Label and Diet Coke. This video is never gonna make it to air, but I'm doing it anyway, just in case we ever need royalties at some point.
Or if we want to get sued or something. I don't fucking
Don't
know.
you ever fucking. Nobody's supposed to know about Green Label.
Nah, dude, their
Only
stock is gonna
seasons.
go up. Like,
This could help. You guys are only rocking a two.
check
2
the
point.
Nasdaq on Monday or
Currently
Tuesday, whenever this gets posted.
Evan Williams Industries up 4 points.
We're gonna buy Evan Williams stock right
We
now.
get pump and dump. Dude. We're gonna buy that shit and just start talking it up. Evan Williams is the next Bitcoin, dude. Get it now.
I hear they're changing their name to Evan Williams Blockchain Incorporated.
What you described, dude, the fucking banging shots and shit. I feel like that's like a Cuervo commercial or something, like tequila. Tequila's
I
whiskey.
don't know.
You don't shoot whiskey, really. I mean, you
I
do.
just like imagine how I drink whiskey.
Fucking
So that's the
GoPro
commercial.
of Eric's night for a commercial.
Yeah, dude. After the third one, I fucking puke.
Just like,
and I drink like
looking at a
6
toilet
more.
for 6 more scenes of the commercial.
Yeah,
Like-
dude, you gotta throw a toilet in there every once in a while in those snapshots. Or just like throw up on like your shoes or your friend's shoes. Or just a stranger's shoes.
It's like him looking at Netflix.
Yeah, dude. Fucking looking at Netflix, looks down, puddle puke, but then a fresh shot poured.
4 scenes later, fucking beaten off or something.
Failing to beat off.
Yeah, falling asleep with your fucking pants. I totally walked in when I was still living in my parents' house. I like walked upstairs to like.
On your dad beating off?
No, thank God, dude, that would ruin my life. That would legitimately ruin my fucking
Dude, holy
life.
shit. How many kids have had to have the talk with their parents after they catch them beating off?
I can't even imagine. I can't like the idea of walking to my parents having sex is like
Yeah, that'd be
wouldn't-
crazy.
It'd be crazy, but I would rather walk into my parents having sex than walking into my dad beating off. I absolutely would.
Because your mom's there to defuse the situation.
Talk me down, Jimmy. God, look,
Jimmy, put your dick away. Jimmy, stop spreading your ass.
let me get you something to eat. Sorry about this anymore. Thanks, mom. Nah, dude. I feel like walking in on somebody beating off is so much more like, okay, think about it from your perspective.
Oh, it's very personal.
Would you rather one of your friends or your parents catch you beating off or fucking a girl?
I'd rather be caught, I guess banging a girl.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
There's no question. Like, can you imagine? Like the talk
But
after.
also,
You,
like, I don't know. I feel like
I'll be amazed if you come up with a good reason right now. I can't think of one at all. It's just like the talk you have. Like I've imagined several times, like when I was
like having to explain what you're doing.
Yeah, because in a way
dude, you gotta come up with scenarios.
You're kind of okay. So like there have been several times when I was living at my parents' house, or like if not that many fucking times, like there were a few assorted times.
Tony, take note every day.
When I was living at my parents' house in the basement, and like like I would have a girl in my fucking like twin bed in the fucking corner of my basement, and just like sleeping there, and I wouldn't fall asleep in those nights. Like I used to hate when a girl would come to my house because it would be like I just had to stay up and like make, because my parents, the laundry room's down there. They had to walk through what was my room for the last 2 years I lived there. There was no door, there was nothing. It was just you walk down the stairs and that was me. And like
and maybe a girl sometimes.
Like
or maybe
very small percentage of times. But like there have been several times when I was like, all right, so it would kind of suck if my dad just walked down here and there was like a naked chick in the bed, or like that's kind of different, because then it's like, all right, yeah, Dad, what you want from me, dude? Like, banging a girl last night. But it's the same thing. Like, your dad catches you banging, and you're just like, the talk you have the next day is like completely different. They're just like, look, I know you're getting older. I know.
Who'd you rather have, your mom or your dad catch you?
Definitely my dad. Banging, dad for banging, and dad for beating off.
Dad for beating off?
You would rather have your mom catch you?
No.
Exactly.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you'd flip off though.
All right, come to think of it, dude, I'm thinking. Lots of mind games going on right now, dude. I don't know who I am anymore after these past 2 conversations, dude. I'm fucking. No, dude, the conversation is like you have that awkward moment where like the worst part about that situation is it's terrible for the girl. Like
because it's just a stranger to them.
And then like anytime you walk in a house, at least the dude's mom.
The girl would rather have your mom catch you.
You think so? Because that mom's gonna be like, fucking slut. Like, I never met you before, but you're just fucking my son in the basement. Like, I feel like you're.
But if you're a girl, would you rather have some strange woman catching you?
Oh, you're saying
strange ass man.
I'm just approaching this for how I would want it.
Nameless chicker at this point.
Yeah, dude. Like, okay, so
Faces in the pillow. Who is it?
Exactly. I fucking wish. Exactly. But
yeah. For all of the listeners who didn't know, me and Jimmy totally got laid all the time.
These laundry list of times, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, short one, but
okay. So I wouldn't be able to look my dad or mom in the face for like that would make me move out in a way. If I wasn't already moved out, like that would be so fucking weird to have your parents catch you doing that, especially at this age.
Oh yeah, like Well,
why are you here? I feel like why are you here? And why
I feel like if you're older, it's more acceptable though.
Just to be beating off in your. I feel like.
No, I thought we were still talking about sex. Switch over to beating off.
Sex is less acceptable as you get older, kids. Get it while you're young.
No, I'm saying it's more acceptable if you get caught when you're older.
To get caught fucking, yeah. Unless you're too old. Unless you're like grandparent age, then it becomes terrifying again.
Oh, yeah. Then why are you still living at home? Your parents are long gone.
You moved out of your parents to move into your grandparents. Like, you went backwards, dude.
Oh, I thought you were saying when you're a grandparent. Getting caught having sex. Dude, your ghost of your parents going to come through?
I have no idea. Neither one of us have any idea what the other person's talking about. We're having like 4 different conversations at once. Dude, I was talking about fucking.
Dude, I was talking about moving into the grandparents' house, fucking in it, getting caught.
That's a weird fucking conversation. That's where
because grandparents don't even know what sex is.
Dude, they've fucking
never had it.
Grandparents have been fucking.
Grandparents have never had sex before. They're all virgins. You have to get in the birds and the bees talking shit. Just innocent old people.
Dude, they were fucking. You know what blew my mind, dude? I found out that my grandfather on my dad's side, when he was married and had like 3 or 4 kids at this point, like banged a barmaid. And that blew my mind, dude. I was like, Pop did that? What the fuck?
Yeah, Pop popped off, baby.
Yeah, dude. Like, they were like, yeah. My dad was like, yeah, dude. He was like, he was fucking.
He was the musician guy?
No, that was my other grandfather.
Oh,
I don't think I
was it your dad's dad?
My dad's dad was the one who fucked around. Yeah, dude. I don't even think I think he's like a half Polish and just like a bunch of other bullshit. All the cool like nationalities in my family are all my mom, are all like the female side. Like my dad's mom and my mom. Not my mom's mom. Both my mom's parents are Greek. I don't fucking know what I'm saying. I forgot everything.
Mind games, eh? You're not even Greek, Jimmy. you like finally start working it out, and you're like, wait, I think my mom's grandparents or my mom's parents are German, Russian. How is she Greek? How am I Greek?
I remember my papu, which is my mom's father, my mom's side grandparents, the Greek ones, came in the Cheesecake Factory. My papu was like joking. My papu was like,
you're gonna tell a story about how they came over to the country. They came into a cheesecake factory.
Yeah, no. They came. They made it. They made it. Every immigrant came through Ellis Island Cheesecake Factory. And that's why they all became either fucking cooks, fucking waiters. That's
all
it.
opened up diners.
Yeah, the Greeks became waiters.
There's so many items on this menu.
We could do this. We could do this. So he came in. He was fucking scoping out the competition, and I'm serving the table. And he was talking about like this one time where he was just like he like was playing this gig, and they met this girl who was like a little bit older. I think he said he was like 26 at the time, and the girl was like early 30s. But she was like all about him, and like of course he didn't say this, but like the vibe I got from him was saying like they like had it was like him and all the band guys, and they were all hanging out with this girl, and they all like drank and stuff like that. And my grandmother made this like comment where my papa was like, yeah, you know, like she wasn't very good looking, but you know, when you're drinking, it's you know, you don't see clearly, blah blah blah. And then my grandmother was like, yeah, but how long did you see her after that, Jim? And I was like, oh shit, Papa was definitely banging this girl.
And
40s, but this is before.
Papa's name is Jim too.
Technically his name is Demetrius too.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty sure when he came to America, he just changed it to James because his older relatives convinced him that like he shouldn't have a Greek sounding name. They're like, just change it to James. So legally in America, he's just James Spanos.
Wow.
So legally, I'm the only person in my family with a legit Greek name.
Damn. Dude.
Except for my yaya, whose name is Chrysoula, which is pretty fucking Greek.
It's very fucking Greek.
But yeah, that happened before they were together or dating. But it was just like weird to hear him talk about like banging chicks back. And then
a groupie. And
then he was like, and like his way of like playing it off when she said that, like, how long did you see him afterwards? Was like, yeah, but can you imagine what she looks like now? Like, he was like, she would be like, she would
Greek,
be,
dude.
My papa, exactly, dude, fucking genius. Now all I can think about is this fucking she would be like 90 right now, like 91 or 92, just like, oh, dude, I think about that all the time, like girls that I think are attractive, and like, what's it gonna be like when we all run into each other as like old people, like not even just middle age, because you can still be hot when you're 40, 50, if you try. But like I'm talking about like running into a girl you used to find hot when you're like in your 70s.
Yeah, like a retirement home or something.
Oh my god, dude, that's got to be.
Just move in and your neighbor comes over to say hi, and it's fucking
just
Sally Smoke Show.
Sally Smoke Show.
Now she's looking like a fucking.
I keep thinking
fire.
I just keep thinking of all those like Towson girls, like fucking Kate Gillan comes to mind as usual, dude. Still pissed. Still fucking pissed. But just imagine.
Gotta get over her, dude.
No, dude. The only way I can get over her is when I see her at 75 and I get to go, you are old as fuck. Fucking ugly as shit. And then she's like, so are you. And I'm like, damn. So you're saying there's no shot. I waited my whole life for this. That's gonna be fucking weird, dude.
What if she ever listens to any of this?
Yeah, well, that too. That too.
If I intentionally cut together all the Kate Gillan talk and send it to her,
Post
as
it on
one
Facebook.
compilation. Live from the
Kate
studio.
Gillan
Talks about Kate Gillan.
owned
Tag her.
compilation.
It's not
Capital
even
owned.
Half the time you talk about her being like your crush in fucking middle school or some shit.
Yeah, but the other half, I talk about fucking owning that bitch, dude.
That's just a setup for the own, dude.
I talk her up and then knock her down, dude. It's the only way.
Oh my god. Learned it in my pickup artist book I read. It's called peacocking or something. Negging. I don't know. Listen to the audiobook.
I can't do it anymore. I tried to listen to an audiobook the other night, and like, the problem is
It's boring, dude.
the fucking readers are so bad
Yeah.
because they'll just let anybody
Unless,
do
like,
it.
the author reads it. I don't really like audiobooks.
Dude, I just had a really
You can start doing audiobooks?
because it's like I think you probably get paid a little bit,
Yeah.
and it would be an excuse to read the book. Like if I could get paid to read a book,
Ooh.
I would do that.
But you probably got to take a ton of takes on that shit. It's not just like one and done.
They're not taking a ton of takes, dude. They fuck up like every other sentence. And I'm like, what did you just say? And they don't even
Yeah.
go back and correct it. They
You're
just
gonna
keep.
lose your voice, dude.
It'd be great to get down pat the fucking podcast voice, though, dude.
Oh yeah.
And a good way of getting rid of the habit of cussing all the time, saying dude all the time is another thing.
But also, you wouldn't have to worry about any of that because you're just reading a book verbatim. There's no like
there's no time for
interjections.
cussing.
Yeah, it's not like a.
Oh no, I was only gonna do this if I could do director's cut commentary
Audio
after
commentary.
every chapter. All right, which would be fun and
Reader
cool.
Commentary, dude.
That would actually be real, dude.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Actually, I just came up with an even kind of cooler idea, which I imagine could be time consuming and almost a worse idea because this no longer involves me getting paid. This just involves me wasting more time doing something. But if like as a reason for me to read a book or okay, this is a terrible idea, but just imagine if like we read a book and then did like fucking like commentary on that book in like I'm just spitballing right now, dude. This is never gonna happen probably. But imagine if we did like commentary on that book where it was like contemporary analysis or like not even analysis, but just like regular conversation about like these classic books. I would watch that at the very least. I wouldn't do it probably. I definitely wouldn't do it because that would require us literally reading a book.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Together.
talking about it.
But like when I read these books, like that's why they have book clubs. Like girls talk about books all the time, dude, and nobody cares. Girls like my sister. I don't have a sister. I don't have a sister.
Yeah, I was about to fucking say, what?
Never told you this? Anyways, I have a sister.
Yeah, she lived under Dom's bed.
She was fucking Chunk from Goonies. My girlfriend and her sister will read a book and then just talk about it in the apartment. And I'm just sitting there and like, I
Dude,
can't.
That's just like you reading the book.
Exactly.
You don't even need to read books.
And they're all like, all girl books are fucking like missing girl, like gone this, gone that. I was like, oh my God, dude, this is the same plot in every book. Like every book involves a woman, like either like done wrong.
Were you talking about Gone Girl?
I'm talking about every book. My girlfriend.
Gone Girl is like the woman is like setting up the dude to be like, he killed me or whatever, but she really just went on the run and like bought a bunch of shit with his credit cards and put out an insurance policy on him, and then like she hooks up with like an old flame and then kills him and then tries to pin it on the husband.
Dude, that sounds like such a fantasy I could see a woman having, dude. Like that's like I was thinking about it now
movie.
as you say that, I'm thinking like, why do I view all these things? Because they're from the difference is that the girl books are from the main character is like a girl. And so you're living out that story through the perspective of a girl, and most books are like through the eyes of a guy, you know? Most books are like fucking Old Man in the Sea, War and Peace, like all the like Great Gatsby and all that shit. But like there's all the fucking books, Huckleberry Finn, like all the fucking books are all through the eyes of a guy, and there's like girl characters in it, but this one, Gone Girl, is like the main character is a girl, which I could see why girls would like that.
Wait, in Gone Girl, she's not the main character.
Who's the narrator?
I mean, you follow along Ben Affleck mostly.
Wait,
but
Ben Affleck's not in the book.
He's in the movie.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's like, you know, there's like an A story, a B story, a C story, and shit. You know, all at the same time. True, very true. It's getting trusty. But no, I mean, I don't know. Gone Girl is too long of a movie, though. I don't know about the book.
Which one am I thinking of? There's another one, 50 Shades of Grey, which was made into a. I haven't seen or read either.
Well, that's
of these
just
movies.
like, you know,
That's
girls
just,
like also beat off by reading.
yeah.
Like,
Which I think should all like the fact that basically 50 Shades of Grey is just like softcore porn for women in a way, dude.
Dude, no, it's fucked up. When I used to take my grandma shopping, we were at Target one time, and I had to stop her from buying the 50 Shades of Grey
Oh
book.
no, just because you can't.
She was
imagine.
like, "Oh, I've heard about this," and I was like,
No, Mom,
no, Grandma.
No, you haven't.
Oh,
Fucking planted a memory in her
yeah.
mind. I've never seen this thing before.
Yeah, dude. I trained up that skill.
Trying to convince your mom out of reading it. Yeah, dude. I hope my mom hasn't read that. That would just ruin my image of my mom in my head.
Just find a fucking stuck together copy of 50 Shades
Oh,
of Grey at
dude.
your house.
Jesus Christ. It's so much
Trying to
grosser.
find your mom's lotion to pick up
It's so much grosser thinking about a book being stuck together by that fucking dude.
by a girl instead of a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think it's gross if it's not yours. You know what I mean?
If I found a
Like,
book that was
universal.
like stuck together with dried out jizz that wasn't mine, I would still think it was like funny. But like if I found a book,
I'd still, you know, get a sample for lab testing. Call my mouth a lab.
I'd still read it. I'd still read that book. I just skipped that chapter. I don't know what happened, but apparently
Try to
something
piece it
fucking
together.
sexy as shit happened in this chapter. But I guess I won't see that. But fucking yeah, I don't know, dude. If I picked up like a 50 Shades of Grey and it was like stuck together on the corners with like fucking wet, dude, I would.
That was probably the grossest part about working at the movie theater was when that shit came out. Cause
Oh, I
like,
thought you were gonna say was cleaning up that shit off the book. It was like gross.
oh yeah, dude. Well, I mean, like there'd be
You had to mop the
fucking,
floors after each
Dude,
showing.
there'd just be like a ton of fucking Kleenex everywhere and shit, and like just people like crying. I guess I don't know. A lot of like those weird like. A couple of years ago, there was like a big influx of like teen like drama movies about like cancer, like other illnesses and sicknesses and shit, but also like love stories at the same time.
Yeah.
And every time any of those movies came out, there'd just be like mountains of fucking used tissues, and it was so gross.
Ugh. Well, at least they were probably just from people crying. I feel like that shit started. I think Twilight kind of brought that into the
Oh
realm
yeah, the
of
sick kid.
Yeah.
In the hospital.
Well, no, but like the teen drama thing, dude. Because like Twilight, I remember girls talking about that in high school, and me just being like,
Yeah, that was definitely like the. I don't know. I wouldn't call that either, because
he was like
you always had
fantasy.
like Harry Potter and shit too.
Yeah, but that's not really like a teen drama, dude. Like
He gets into it in the later ones when he gets older.
I feel like Twilight. Okay, if I had to say the difference between the two, which I do, I have to say this.
You must.
I must. Is I would say that Twilight was like kind of like a fantasy drama that was more focused on the drama aspect. Like, it was so much more about, like, Team Edward, Team Jacob. Like, it was a love story. I wouldn't consider Harry Potter... Harry Potter. I wouldn't consider Harry Potter
What about
a love story. That was much
Harry
more...
Potter, like, was trying to bang that Asian chick,
I mean, there was aspects of love in it, but, like, it wasn't like a...
Ron's brother was getting married or something, or like... There's
you can have what I'm saying is you can have
a mother's love to save the child from the one who cannot be named.
You can have romance in a story without it being a love story, like a comedy, for instance, like fucking regular.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying.
Like Waterboy.
Like, Twilight's like a will they or won't they thing.
Exactly. Which
and
I was
Harry
always
Potter's not.
I was exactly. I'm thinking that kind of, and then that kind of brought in like the whole like. I can't even think of any other examples, but, you know, they were all after that.
All of them.
So all of them.
All the other Twilights.
Yeah.
Series.
Twilight 1, that brought about Twilight 2 and Twilight 3, Eclipse. So, you know, I'm right. Dude, I was honestly, I remember being so confused that anybody was Team Everett. He was such a fucking dweeb. Like
I
he
just
was
remember like all the girls fucking reading that fucking book.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dog.
I went and saw the movie with
really?
Hannah and Sarah, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like senior year. I may have not even sat next to Sarah. I think I did. I had to have.
Oh
I definitely
God.
didn't make a move or anything. Obviously.
You're totally team fucking Wolf Boy because you kept
Absolutely.
saying you looked like him.
I didn't keep saying that. Other people kept saying that, and then I started saying that. And then all of a sudden, and then it was just weird because I'm not gonna say it, dude. I felt cheated by that whole thing. I really did because I always had that haircut and shit like that, and I always looked like that. I didn't fucking change. I didn't like fucking like start
surgery
working. I didn't like
you
start working out and shit.
And your
to do that.
bones started popping out.
Exactly. I just fucking started like I just was me, and then that movie came out, and then everybody was like, "Oh, God, looks like Taylor Lautner," and then all of a sudden, all our friends were like, "Jimmy, you don't look like Taylor Lautner." I was like, "Dude, I never said I did, but now that you're saying I don't, I feel like I kind of do. Like, I feel like I kind of do. Like, look," and then all of a sudden, it made me more steadfast in the idea that I did.
You kind of did.
I kind of did. I gotta give myself definitely, and I think it's a hard case to argue that he wasn't the more attractive of the two.
Yeah,
Way
he
better
tacked
looking.
on mass.
Dude, he was fucking jacked. He had perfect jaw structure.
Yeah.
Fucking Edward Pattinson looked like a fucking, he had those like sunken in eyes. He looked like he'd been like starving to death for centuries or something.
Yeah.
And he was just like this soft
Super pale and shit.
Yeah, this like fucking,
yeah.
I'll be here for you. Like, dude, nobody wants you to be
dude,
here for them,
You're
dude.
fucking like 800 years old and you're trying to bang a 16-year-old.
Exactly. At least
Yeah.
Taylor Lautner made sense, dude. He was like a dude. Did he go to their high
Yeah,
school?
he just got bit by a dog, dude.
Was that the story?
Yeah, dude. Pitbull.
Oh my god.
Now.
He got mauled. Jesus. Well, he was born that way, right? Like he comes from a long line. That was such a dumb story, dude.
Born a werewolf. I don't
Such
fucking
a
know,
dumb
dude.
fucking story, dude.
Yeah, I remember we're at like Will's house one day, and one of his like ex-girlfriends like brought over Twilight. Like her and fucking Liz were talking about it, and his mom. And like I remember we were just like joking about it, and I picked it up and I looked in the book, and like the first thing I saw was like a spelling mistake or something. It's just so dumb.
Like an opening sentence.
Fucking
Once upon a
uncapitalized.
time.
Yeah.
What?
Once upon a time. Dude, imagine if like you get your big final fucking break, you get your first book out there, and you put like 8 years of life into writing that shit, and it gets printed. One cup at a time.
That would be funny though. That would be super funny, dude. It would definitely keep people talking because everybody would notice that. Anybody who's ever picked up the book would be like,
fucking editors just baffled. It's like, it's been the first draft. It's been there since the beginning. I thought that was
did you even read the book?
No. This was like a Willy Wonka tribute or something. Wonka upon a time.
Damn, dude, what a fucking! I can't believe I fucking watched that, dude. I cannot believe that was like. That's
Twilight,
probably why.
Yeah.
That's probably why Sarah didn't want to date me at a certain point, dude. Because like Eric Gorman wasn't watching Twilight, dude. Eric Gorman was probably like, "Fuck Twilight," and she was probably like, "That's what I was trying to hear. I don't even like it either." And my stupid ass Sarah like, "Yeah, I kind of see like both sides of it. I feel like
I get Team Edward, but I also get Team Jacob.
like I could see why she could be into him, but ultimately, Taylor Lautner looks more like me, and you should be with me."
Dude, not Team Eric Gorman. I mean Team Edward.
Oh man. What a terrible movie series.
Dude, and that shit was so big. People had fucking those t-shirts like Team Edward and Team Jacob. I remember people wearing that shit to school, and I was just like, where'd you buy that? You know what I mean? Like, did you make that? Don't sell those in
written
stores.
on like a t-shirt and
It's fucking,
Sharpie.
like copywritten images of actors. Probably like their headshots. It's not even like from the movie.
That was like the original thing. I feel like most people were Team Jacob now I think about it. I feel like you had to be a complete fucking dweeb.
Well, I think most people were Team Jacob because they knew Edward was already taken in real life by Kristen Stewart. So they're like, at least Jacob's single.
True, but do girls really think that way? Like, do dudes think that way?
Girls always think that way, dude.
That's
girls
true.
are very respectful.
They are more respectful than dudes, I feel. In a lot of ways.
I feel
In a
like
lot of
dudes
ways,
are pretty respectful
dudes,
nowadays.
you know what? I'm gonna take back that statement completely. I think. Ooh, I'm getting in trouble for saying this, but no, I won't. I think that dudes are across the board more respectful
More respectful
to other dudes than girls are to other girls. Absolutely.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say in general,
Nope.
but no.
Just to other dudes, there is a man code that I'm not
It's like the
convinced.
fucking the head nod, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you see another dude, like, I'll like walk back to my house like late at night sometimes, and like just be like, you know, I'll be like eyeing up a dude walking like a block ahead of me, and I'll be like, is this guy trying to fight me? Is he trying to mug me? See my neighbors? Is this actually just a girl? And then, like, once they get, like, within, like, 20 feet of me, I'm just like, yo, what's up? And then...
Dude, there's a certain,
it's
like...
easy.
There's
Diffused. Situation diffused.
I feel like... okay, there's another... I'm just going to make a bunch of generalizations based off of my experiences as a dude, but I feel like, in general, girls are much more predisposed to, like... I don't know. I feel like when they meet another girl, they view it as, like, especially an attractive girl. Like, they meet attractive girls and they see them kind of like as threats in a way. Dude, and so it's competition. But dudes, you know, there's guy competition too, but guys compete. All right. My theory is that men compete in like this kind of like social... Jordan Peterson talks about it a lot too, but like there's like this social hierarchy or this like social dominant thing. Like, you know, it's kind of ingrained in society that men are supposed to be the ones that like we have this kind of like biological drive, you know, that you can observe in like every species or most species where the men they're the ones that compete, like even like deer and shit like that. They're the ones that like fight for the female, right? So it's like in male biology that we are supposed to be the ones that like both operate in that sphere of like alpha male shit like that, and like, you know, silverback and stuff like that. Like we have, and then the women, the top women get to have their pick. You know, usually whatever guy proves his dominance over that pack of guys gets his pick of like the best women. And so the women kind of compete. The women don't actually have to compete against each other. It's more like women, I feel like, are more competitive when it comes to like looks and being like pretty and stuff like that. But like guys, like I don't feel threatened by a dude who's like super good looking. Like I look at a dude who's super good looking, I'm like, that dude's super fucking good looking. But that's because I feel like women get a little bit more like if you're like all working and there's like 2 hot girls, they're usually like, I don't know, dude. It's just something I've observed, dude. Could be wrong. Could just be the stuff that I've experienced.
Yeah, if you're like working a shift with 2 girls, they'll just talk shit about each
Yeah,
other
like
to you.
and it's yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's their way of social competition because like, you know, that's why you kind of associate like gossipiness with girls because it's like their way of establishing themselves as higher than the other girl is by like shitting on the other girl and basically like spreading rumors, talking shit about her and stuff like that.
Don't get me wrong, I love gossip.
Oh, I love gossip too, dude.
Gossip's great.
I love it. I always feel so guilty when I'm doing it, but I'm like, this is so fun.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
talking about shit, shitting on people. I love this shit. I always feel so fucking bad when I'm doing it. I'm like, you fucking pussy, dude. What are you doing? Fucking sitting here gossiping with like a pint of ice cream. Yeah, have you seen him, dude?
He's sad. Bat. Like shove a whole pint in your face.
Yeah.
See what he's wearing? Same Iowa.
Like, okay, so so dudes fucking okay. So I feel like dudes have this kind of like out and about type mentality where women are kind of they're much more about like the nest. So like you get like a in the classic dynamic you have the person who fulfills the role of going out and making the money and stuff like that and going out and providing and blah blah blah, and the woman is the person who stays at home and nurtures. So it's almost like in their blood they're a little bit probably more predisposed to monogamy than men, I would say. Like men probably have more of an evolutionary drive to go out and fuck like multiple different women, but as a woman you really don't have the option. Like you of course have the option of going out and fucking a whole bunch of different dudes, but like from a
you get like a 9-month egg or
exactly. And so like you have to be, I mean Joe Rogan was just talking about this the other week, but like you actually have to it might not even be something that you're consciously thinking about. In fact, I don't think most people are consciously aware of some of the stuff that like no, of course no, just like no guy
the shit we do, we just do.
Yeah, exactly. Just like no guy's looking at a girl with a fucking huge tits and thinking about why is it that I'm just for some reason attracted to this? The same reason why are fucking female deer attracted to bucks with the biggest horns? Like, why does that make sense? There's no fucking reason other than like there's got to be a reason because the buck with the big horns is able to. He's the more dominant. He's the more powerful. Blah blah blah. So we look at a woman with like wide hips and like fucking hips don't lie. And we're like, oh shit, like
or
curvy.
dominant. She fucking just knocks people.
I read
out with
somewhere
them.
that it was about like easier, less,
Childbearing
childbearing and stuff like that, like safer childbirth. Which no guy's looking at a fucking woman with a fat ass and being like, "Oh, I bet you she could have this shit out of my
Your
kids."
baby
Like,
would slide right out.
yeah, exactly.
Look
I
at-
used to think,
look at you.
exactly. You're not thinking that. You're just thinking like, "Oh shit." So like, I feel like all I'm saying is women have this kind of mentality, or I'm not saying they do, but they might be predisposed to this kind of mentality of like, this is me, this is my man, this is my family, like, bitch, stay the fuck out. Whereas guys are like, what's up, dude, blah, blah, blah. And if I'm wrong, then maybe I've just observed. So, but I think anybody can agree that across the board, like, girls tend to be a lot bitchier to each other than guys do to each other. Like, when I meet a guy, my automatic
But
response...
also, like, I think guys are also bitchy to each other, but we just, like, say it to each other and we just laugh it off. Or, like, I don't know.
Hopefully you say it. I know there are definitely guys that are shitty to each other, but I consider that when I see a guy who's like bitchy, I think just that, like, that's bitchy. That's kind of like feminine in a way. Like the fact that you're being so fucking like, not that I'm saying being feminine is a bad thing. I'm
not
just
trying to assign it.
Yeah.
Specific.
I'm just saying like like bitchy, like just like just like that's just like not manly. That's such a not manly thing to do, is be like fucking petty and talk about people behind their back, which is why I feel like such a pussy when I fucking gossip and shit like that. Which I haven't done too much of lately. I haven't gossiped too much lately, mostly because I don't have anybody to talk about with anyone.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Gossip says I got fired from the melting. It's all coming together.
I have a sneaking suspicion that I got gossiped about at the melting pot more. I feel like not. I feel like everybody thought I was a fucking jerk there.
I don't know. I feel like everyone has those thoughts about shit.
I didn't used to have those thoughts. I used to think when I was at the Cheesecake Factory, I was like, dude, everybody loves me here. This is great. Like, this is so fun. And then I got fired from there. And then, but I luckily already had another job. Except for that guy. He did not love me. But I fucking went to the Melting Pot, and it was like, I think it was because they were a little bit younger. Like, they were like 3 years younger than me. And like, also, I was dating a girl, so like there was no reason for girls to like laugh at my jokes when they weren't funny or anything like that. Like, I really had to fucking put up for the team. Like,
fucking write a set, come in, fucking work shit out in the mirror.
I think most of it probably had to do with the fact that like I wasn't the kid anymore. Like, all of a sudden I was like one of the older dudes, so it wasn't like cute or whatever the fuck you want to call it, for lack of a better term. Like, they didn't view it the same way. They were just like, there's this fucking dude who's like a little bit older than us that just like always joking about shit all the time. Like, I always feel like that's... But, you know, I was only 24, which is like, fuck you, dude. Of course I'm joking about this shit. We're fucking working at Melting Pot. Like, why are you taking this so fucking seriously? This is dumb.
True.
You know? Like, why
true.
Why am I the fucking weird one here? Like,
I just figured it out. Old, bitch. I'm older than you. I'm afraid.
I'm past this point. Like, I've already figured out that this shit doesn't matter. Or unless it does. Unless it does matter. I don't fucking... It probably does matter.
I don't think it matters, dude. I really don't.
I think the lessons you learn, I think that my only regret about that...
Yeah, you definitely do take shit away. But it's like, you learn something and apply it somewhere else. You don't take that same shit with you, you know what I mean?
I'm disappointed because I've never left any job or any job that I've held for like as my like for like an extended period of time. You know, like a job that was like my job. I've never held that for and like left it on my own accord. Like, every job I've left from, every like job I've left from has been because I was not allowed back anymore.
Damn. That's pretty
And saying not allowed back sounds bad. I wasn't like I wasn't allowed back. It was just like I was
you
just
still go back.
Yeah, I still go back.
People still love you.
Yeah. But
They
like I just
couldn't keep up with you.
couldn't work there, dude.
Couldn't keep up.
So my most recent experience, I feel like I just regret that at 24 I still couldn't get myself to fucking show up on time. Like, come on, dude. Come on. I was like, damn, dude, that is not the way I want to go. I just wanted just one job, just put in my 2 weeks, have a last day. I've never had a last day anywhere. Every last day I've ever had, I didn't know it was my last day. It ruins that. I've never had a fucking last day, dude.
Never had like people come up and be like, "Oh, sad to see you go."
Exactly.
Here's like a present or something. Here's this or that, or
exactly. Like the best I ever got. Like a fucking text the next day, like, "Yo, what the fuck, dude?"
You never got the "sorry to see you go."
Oh man.
On to bigger and better.
The fucking
things.
pie in the face, whatever bullshit they do. I've never had the pie in the
Fucking
face.
cake or something. Yeah, I got a cake,
Damn,
dude. You're fired.
Yeah, that's my only
fondue, melting pot.
The last day I had
lava cake.
Last day I had was high school graduation, dude. I didn't have a last day at college either. I didn't have a college graduation, obviously.
You got fired, dude.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? I actually kind of like it because last days suck. I don't like it. It's so weird.
You're always dreading it. Because you got to put in the 2 weeks, and then you're like, all right, dude, I know I'm out of here, but I got to get through these fucking 2 weeks.
And that's the mark of a person. I think one of the biggest statements that can be made about a person.
Or a fired person.
Well, that's a big difference. That's the big difference. But then when you get down to the 2 weeker subcategory, I'm talking about the people who put in their 2 weeks and finish out strong, or the people who put in their 2 weeks and then just like, you know, the last week, it's like their second to last or last shift, and they just don't. We've had that. They just don't show up. We've had that so many times. Like
I always show up, but like definitely my last shift, I'm like, see ya. Doing it. All of my favorite shit today. I'm getting popcorn. I'm watching movies. I'm going to my secret chair.
All of the above. It's like, Eric, you do this every other shift, dude. We were hoping just one day you wouldn't do this stuff.
Dude, I, for whatever reason, was still the most competent manager. Like, I think maybe 4 or 5 managers before I quit got your treatment. They got fired.
Oh, man.
But, like, dude, one guy was, like, putting in fake time on his time card. He was getting, like, thousands of dollars overtime. Another person got caught on a Snapchat getting in a fight in front of a bar, and then it spread around all the employees, and then the management found out.
Ooh.
But she was a manager. 2 managers got
Oh,
fired.
it was a girl who got in a fight at the bar?
2 of them.
Oh, gee, that's terrible.
2 girls got in a fight. And 2
with
of them
each
were,
other? Like they got in a fight with each other?
No, they're fighting someone else.
Ooh, that's good team bonding, dude. I would have kept those 2 on staff.
But they're managers. They got
Who
fired.
cares, dude?
I don't fucking know.
If they were
I honestly didn't care. I was just like, whatever.
If I ran a business...
Well, one of them I didn't care about. One of them was a bitch, and I was like, good. One person got fired because they were just crazy. Another person got fired because they were just crazy. Some dude got fired because he was like fucking popped up on pills, and he like stole $100 out of the cash room.
Jesus.
One dude got fired because he was just incompetent. Another one got fired because he stole fucking free Coca-Cola vouchers from the Christmas party.
What a way to go.
What a way to go, dude.
That's such a...
You could have just gotten them for free after the party.
Yeah, exactly.
You just waited the next day when the party was over, and we gave them out anyway.
The people who steal shit bug me the most. Like, there's been a couple people... I've worked at a couple different places, and when I was at Cheesecake Factory, the one in Columbia, they had this dude who... He was actually, like, one of the cool managers. Like, he was the one who joked. But he was
you
also...
said that your first day at Cheesecake during orientation, some, like... pregnant chick stole a bunch of shit out of the lockers or some shit.
Oh, yeah, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there was this girl. I know her name. I'm not going to say it.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but
Kate Gilland.
and we're all just having
not going to say her name.
We're all just
I'm
having...
protect the identity of this person who got fired and I've only met once.
Exactly. Yeah, why am I protecting your identity, dude? Why does this matter? If I need to say this name later, I'm saying it. So, fucking, it's the first day of orientation, and we're all there, and...
You have to get changed. You, like, put all your shit in
Yeah, we had this locker
shit.
room in the back, and the next day, some girl comes in talking about how she got, like, $600 stolen out of her locker, and they looked at the cameras and found out that it was this girl. It was, like, her first day of orientation. And, like, she got fired, and, like, nobody was talking about it, but then somebody let it out that that's what happened. I was like, oh, my God, dude. But there was this fucking manager there who had been there for a long time. And he was, like, definitely one of the cool managers, but he was also known for having, like, a temper. You know, it was, like, there were a couple of guys I've known like that in life. Like, Mr. Conti, the teacher, was, like, the same way. He was, like, the jokingest, funniest guy, but he also would, like, explode with rage. Like, it was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. The way he would, like, just explode with anger.
Yeah, that's like bipolar.
Yeah, pretty much. Matt from
Not
Seasons
to, like,
is that way. Matt from Seasons is definitely that way. But this dude, Rob, was kind of like that. And he bitched me and this other girl the fuck out, like, 6 months in. I forgot what it was. I don't even think it was my fault, honestly. I think I was just there. For some reason, it somehow became my fault. I don't know how it happened. Oh, you know what it was, dude?
I stole $600.
I fucking took the blame. I should have never done this now, I think. It was so dumb. It didn't actually affect me because I wound up transferring to
trying
Tealest.
to be, like, chivalrous.
Basically, this girl was in the section next to me, and it was her table. But something or other happened, and like, she didn't come to a table, and the table complained that she hadn't been seen by a server, and I basically, like, went up and, like, made up that for some reason that was supposed to be my table and we had talked about it or something like that, and so I was the one who fucked up. Don't know. I should.
Yeah, that's
fucking
that's
dumb.
Stupid.
Fucking. You know what it was? It was because she was about to get fired. Like, that was her, like, a third strike.
Shit.
And I for some reason didn't have any
Trying to
strikes.
smash.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but that guy later on, he got caught along with a head bartender there, like 2 guys that were, like, lifers there, like they were killing it. They had all the best shifts
Dude,
and
they
everything.
were killing it.
Yeah, they were. And the dude, what they would do is they would have these checks, like a table check, and they would delete all the soft drinks. Because like charge for a Coke, charge for a Sprite, blah, blah, blah. Like, who gives a shit? And so, like, basically, they would ring up a check, and then the table would pay it. So let's say the check was like $90 and they got like 4 Cokes. The table would pay $90 plus tip, whatever. And then the manager, Rob, would go to the if they paid in cash, he would go to the computer and delete the sodas off the check and then cash it out, so that instead of the check being $90, the check would only be like 81 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they would pocket the cash.
Dude, that's like some fucking office.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Except $8 a check, which is way more catchable.
It's way more. Well, I mean, it's way more catchable, but it's way better, like, return quicker.
True. Yeah, they made what those guys in Office Space made in like a short amount. I bet
But
they
also, like, it's 2 of them, so they got to split that up.
Yeah, they probably only made like $4 each per check. But if you're doing that a couple times, let's say you get like
Extra $14 or $15 a night or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's good, dude.
Yeah.
That's if you're working 5
Extra,
nights a week,
like-
that's an extra 100 a week.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. But yeah, he was fired for that, and so was the head bartender because they were doing it together. And I remember being so mad because I was like, the fucking nerve of this guy to yell at me in front of everyone, take him in the office and write me up for that bullshit. Meanwhile, the whole fucking time this dude's stealing from the restaurant.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that a human being could do that. I was like, yo, I have zero respect for you, dude. And he was like pushing 40, but he still looked kind of young. Like, everybody was surprised that he was 40, and he would like still show up to like fucking coworker parties and stuff, which is always like, hey, it's fucking Rob's here, cool. But at the same time, I was like, why is this guy here? It was never like that. Like, nobody ever thought about that. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, why is this guy still hanging out with like fucking 22-year-olds?
Yeah.
Like, it just.
I got $14. Dude, I love when like just karma comes around to hit people. I fucking at that E for E place, I had this fucking like shitty coworker who was just like a total bullshitter. Like he like, he sucked at the job, but he would just like brown nose and whatever just to like work his way up. And like, dude, fucking total, like, I'm like 1/16 Cherokee or whatever. Like, his fucking, like, nickname was Bear. Like, it was fucking just the whole 9, dude. And he just looked like a short, stout, little fat man. Just a little white guy, bald head.
How old was he?
When I was working there, I was like 19, and he was like 30-something.
Jeez.
And he, like, had the fucking Phoenix degree, like the University of Phoenix shit he was proud of, and like he like, he was just kissing his way to the top, and he got to be like kind of the assistant manager over like our team in that company. And by that time it was right before I quit, so like he got on, and like, we're on good terms or whatever, but no one fucking liked him, and like he was just a fucking bitch, He's just bitchy.
Is he still working there?
No. This is where it comes around. Like a half a year after I quit that job, one of my old coworkers texted me out of the blue, and he was like, hey, just thought you'd want to know, but Jared got fired. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Do you know what it was for?
I don't, but I think it was just like him just being a fucking bullshitter, and like
True.
him just like, can't cash all the checks he made and shit.
I almost feel bad for that guy.
Oh, dude, and he would always like, I think it was he would always try to pull some like telecommute bullshit, and then he just wouldn't do work.
What's telecommute?
Like working from home.
How do you do that at a movie theater?
No, it was at the it was tech support.
Oh, well,
like
why do you have to
answering
come into a
emails and
place to do
shit.
that? I feel like you could have done that at home.
Because you had to answer calls too, but he would just like be like, "Oh, I'm sick, my throat's sore. I gotta stay home and answer emails," and just like shit like that. But then he would never do it, or like he wouldn't meet the quota or whatever. And like it just got to a point where he was just a problem.
How old are the managers at the movie theater?
Most of them were like kind of my age.
I was about
It was
to
kind
say.
of like a college age, like kind of job, but also then they were like the lifers and like the.
I feel like
know.
ticket ladies can be older sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. There are a couple grandmas in there, just like some retirees doing their thing.
Dude, when I'm retired, I definitely want a stupid ass job like that, dude, just for fun.
Dude, well, like you gotta make sure you do it when it's not like busy, because like we had a couple like people in my like box office is fine, or like sometimes concessions is okay or whatever. And if you have to do an usher, just try to do the podium. But like, dude, we put some old people to work. It was like kind of sad, like, and it was like so nice of them to like keep up pace and shit. But like, dude,
They didn't
like,
have to.
They didn't have to.
Exactly. They could have been like,
But
guys,
dude,
fuck
they're like
this.
fucking, and they're like picking up the slack for all the kids who are just bullshitting around and talking and not actually doing work. And like, it was just, it was rough. And then also just like having the fucking like older like disabled people in the department. Like,
What do they do?
I had a usher that was like deaf, and he like was not all there, but dude, I think like one of the first weeks he like tripped and like cracked his head open, and like people would try to ask him like where's the bathroom, and then he'd just be like, "Rah!" 'Cause he couldn't hear him or whatever. And dude, yeah, a lot of fucking like spook fright, like jump scares, walking around at like night in the dark or whatever in a dark theater cleaning it, and then just out of the corner of the room you just hear like a and like I don't think he knew he was doing it half the time too.
I guess it'd be tough to know, dude.
He was just like clearing his throat or something.
It would be
It'd
like wearing headphones all the time, dude. You know how loud you are when you wear
Yeah.
headphones?
Yeah.
That would be weird, dude. Never
Yeah.
having any idea how loud you're being.
Yeah, that was like I'd think about that all the time if I'd ever like smoke a spliff on the balcony and then come back in and faint doing the job. Dude, those were the times.
Yeah, I definitely.
Dude, you miss it. I know you miss it.
I definitely miss it. I definitely miss it. I had a dream last night that like, you remember Rhett?
Yeah.
You met Rhett. He was one of my old coworkers.
Rhett Bailey.
Rhett Bailey. He was one of my old, and like, he was just in my dream. We were just hanging out, drinking. And I woke up. And like in the morning, I was like, yo.
Bummed out.
Yeah, I was so bummed. I was like, yeah, I fucking miss Rhett, dude. What the hell?
Should hit him up, dude.
I should hit him up, dude. I actually drove through Parkville, which is, I'm pretty sure, where he still lives with his girlfriend. I think they're probably getting married soon.
Whoa.
Probably. They're not engaged.
Gonna hang out soon.
Yeah, exactly. But I just drove through Parkville to
it's
get
too
fucking
late.
kerosene, which I drove to Parkville yesterday to get kerosene, but I forgot the kerosene tank. It was
So then I just hung out in
I was
Parkville for the
fucking.
day.
I had a dream that sent me. No, fucking yesterday, I fucking got in my car, left my apartment, and was just like, all right, here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna get kerosene because I had to play at the horse at 5:30. It was like my only objective of the day that I really needed to get done was get kerosene, and I remember.
You can just buy another tank there.
They
Or,
don't
like,
sell them there.
That's bullshit.
They don't sell
That's
gas
stupid.
tanks at that gas station. It's beyond me. It's literally fucking beyond me that you do
That's
that.
pretty crazy. They sell them at like Rofo.
They sell them why wouldn't? It doesn't make sense to me that you would sell a product and not sell the thing that product goes in. Like, you sell so much other shit at fucking gas stations. Why wouldn't you sell? It's beyond me. But I'm driving down. First of all, I'm fucking distracted on the fucking beltway. And I just miss my exit for like 3 exits. I'm about to get on 95. And I see the fucking exit sign. I'm like, where the fuck did I go? And
Fucking overly.
dude, I fucking hop off and I'm like, God
Go to
damn,
the
I'm
skydiving
fucking
place in
overly
Waymarsh,
Dude, I was fucking out there. I fucking drove back. I drove 19 miles to that fucking gas station after it was all said and done. That's a whole.
I got gas, and I went to get the kerosene tank.
I got out of my car and I fucking look at my tank. I look at my car and there's no fucking tank. And I'm like, dude, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Now I don't have time to do anything. It was like, it took me so long. There was like traffic for some reason midday. It was like 2 p.m. It took me like 15 minutes. Oh, dude.
Damn.
So I got it today, which.
That's clutch.
So yesterday was literally pointless. There was no purpose for yesterday. I played at the Horse. For happy hour, which is cool.
No purpose.
No purpose. There was a dude who came on after. He was only like 19, dude. He was pretty good.
Nice.
He was pretty good. I was actually. It was kind of a weird experience because this guy reminded me like kind of like a Jake Pinto type personality. He was like playing the guitar behind his head and shit, which was weird to see considering it was an acoustic set at the Horse. I got to admit. But it was cool that he was doing it. I was like, damn, but I would never like have the balls to just start doing that at like a solo acoustic set at the Horse. But it was cool. He was good. He was a good guitar.
Dude, you're putting the sound behind you?
Yeah. Dude, it was
crazy.
Well, I mean, you're still plugged in and shit, but
okay.
But like I was looking at him, I was like, damn, this guy's in my mind I was thinking like, damn, this guy's really good. Like fuck, and he's only 19. Like, I'm done, dude. I'm fucking out. And then this couple walked by. It was like this couple. I want to say they were probably like late 20s, 30 maybe, something like that. And they were like, "Hey, dude, his opening song was 3 a.m."
Yeah.
Which is like my signature song, dude. I fucking crushed that song at fucking gigs. And they walked up and were like, "This guy's good. You did it better, dude." And they fucking left. And I was like, you have no idea how much better that made me feel just now. Like, I was sitting here, I was literally looking like a fucking, like, washed up, like, old musician at the bar, like, drinking a bow out of a mason jar, because that's what they fucking serve it at the Horse. I'm drinking a bow at the fucking bar, and I'm just, like, drinking. This couple walks with, "You did it better." I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. I am now a young man again. There you fucking go. Thank you. Their Christmas parties tonight, dude. The Horse Christmas party is going on right now.
Ooh.
And I was invited.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Well, too bad.
Yep.
Still doing this solo cast.
Sorry, Horse, dude.
Another couple hours.
We got time, dude. Just saying. It's a VIP only thing. And I get a +1.
Whoa.
Just throwing that as a thing. And I think it's a themed thing, but like I'm not going as a theme. If I were to go, I'm not going as a theme thing. It's 90s prom as a theme.
90s prom?
Yeah, dude, I'm asking you at prom right now, dude.
Dude, I never even went to a real prom.
That's true. You didn't even go to 2010's
I don't even know how to
prom.
handle it.
This could be it for you, dude.
I don't have a dress.
I was actually thinking about getting that kid on the podcast. His name was like, what the fuck was his name? I have no clue. Never mind. This kid's never come on the podcast. I have no clue what his fucking name is.
Unless you see him there again.
Yeah, I'll probably see him there. He was swagged out, dude. He was wearing like Tim's, which I was like, damn, dude. I was wearing fucking dress shoes because literally these dress shoes to this day are the only non-slipper or flip-flop shoes I own.
What happened to Converse, dude?
Oh, I lost a Converse years ago,
and you
dude.
haven't bought a new pair for $20?
I left my Converses at CVP. Literally, that's how I lost them.
You got a lost and found, dude.
I just like I was so mad that happened that I didn't even think that they would still be there. It was just like, why? And then also I'm not feeling Converse anymore, dude. I feel like Converse I wore it when I feel like if I wore them now, it just look weird. Like, what are you doing? Why are you wearing Converses?
True.
If I were to get a pair of shoes now, I'd get, which if I were ever to get a pair of shoes again, I probably will. I'll put money on that.
I'll try.
It would definitely be like a classy, like
New Balance.
Yeah. Definitely something that's just like you can wear it casually, but you can wear it dressy too. like just like a nice sleek like black boot that could also pass as a dress boot, but like could also pass as a casual boot too.
True.
That would be the kind of shoe I get, because first of all, I'm all about multi-purpose. I'm not trying to buy 2 pairs of shoes. Absolutely the fuck
Very
not.
fucking true.
Buy 1 pair of shoes that can do anything, dude.
Yeah, and last you for like a year or so.
As far as I'm concerned, you need dress shoes or casual shoes that look like they could be dress shoes.
Yeah. These pass sometimes for like dress up shoes.
Yeah, you could get away with that.
No, I wouldn't. Kind of like the leather a little bit.
I wouldn't take that to a funeral.
No, not to a funeral, but
like
I've
a formal
definitely
event.
worn this. Like,
yeah,
dude, like the last half a year at the movie theater, these were my dress shoes.
Oh yeah.
And if anyone asked me about them, I'd be like, they're Jordans.
Jordans. Oh, right this way, sir.
Fucking all like blacked out though. That was the one thing for that uniform. You had to have black shoes, and I'm like, these are black shoes,
dude. You need So flip flops, absolutely. I if I could wear flip flops year round, I would. It's the perfect shoe. It takes no time to put on. I hate putting on my shoes. Like when I'm about to leave the house, I'm just like, fuck this. I gotta fucking do this whole thing.
It is definitely like a process.
I gotta
every
sit
morning.
down and like even
I do it standing up and then almost fall over every time.
It sucks. I hate doing it. But like
stick your finger down in between your fucking heel and the back of the sole and shit.
What I hit, dude. I fucking in the summer, do you just fucking see a pair of shoes sprung out on the floor, just pop, boom, go over the other side of the room, pick up the other one, boom, you're good to go. It's fantastic. So you need flip flops. You need nice
bottle opener on the bottom. Of the
obviously
for the summer.
Do you know what I was thinking about today? I went to this like art thing at this craft brewery down in by like Hopkins with Ricky. It was like this brewery called Peabody
I was
Heights.
at Hopkins earlier too.
Dope. And there was also a bunch of people selling like fucking like shit there, like trinkets, and it was like some artist expose or something.
Voice.
And is there such thing as a belt buckle bottle opener?
Yeah, probably.
Because I feel like that's the most obvious one. Like of all, because like the flip flop bottle opener is like cool, but at the same way it's kind of like, do I really want to take off my fucking shoe every time I'm trying to drink a beer?
Buckle. Yeah, I mean like it makes
belt buckle's just
sense.
like I'm drinking a beer, just literally just that's so dope.
But also that's just like totally an alcoholic.
Or like who gives a shit?
Or just
dude?
like a kid who's like, this is gonna be cool.
I tell you what, that would be
so
me.
Cool.
But I would only wear that. I would never buy it for myself. But if somebody were to get it for me for Christmas or my birthday, I would definitely wear it. Eric, you got 4 days, buddy.
4 days or 8 months.
Do you? I mean, like, I don't. I think that's acceptable for me because I don't fucking like everything I own.
For you to give me this present?
Yeah, I don't think it's ridiculous of me to ask that of you, Eric. Come on, man. But that would be kind of cool. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. It definitely cool. If you have the Reef flip-flop bottle openers, you're a fucking douchebag, dude, as far as I'm concerned. Unless you're like a middle-aged guy, because then you're just like a Jimmy Buffett fan, which is like cool, because I like Jimmy Buffett. But like the fucking young like dudes our age who have that, I don't even know if any dudes still have that. I feel like that was cool when we were like at like senior week and shit. But like those guys, all those dudes that had those were fucking douchebags, dude. Absolutely douchebags. Do you own those?
Who had the what?
The Reef bottle opener flip flops.
Oh no, I don't have those. But my younger cousin had like fucking bottle opener flip flops when he was like 13, and he thought he was the coolest.
When you're
thing ever.
13, it's cool.
And anytime like an adult wanted their beer open, it'd be like, gotcha. Take his flip flop off and fucking pop it off. Like, is he already drinking beer?
Dude, it is literally almost, it's the most disgusting part of anyone's body.
Yeah, dude, it's the fucking, you walk
the
on
sole of your shoe.
Yeah.
Like,
you put it up where you put your lip on
oh, you're
the
about
bottle.
to drink that? I got you. This has been
Got
touching
you.
the ground
I
all
stepped in
day.
dog shit.
That's fucking the grossest shit ever. I walked through a restaurant dish room.
Well, I was in a bathroom earlier, public bathroom. A lot of pee on the floor.
Just fucking, yeah, I got you, bro. Like, no, dude. Next best thing, guy that's gonna open it next to his dick. Boom. Next, that's the only two.
Ooh.
If you had to pick,
Ooh, bottle opener cod piece?
what's a
Little
cod piece? Oh, cock
thing.
piece?
I guess. Isn't that the same thing?
What's a cod piece?
Isn't that like a cock piece? I don't know.
Okay, what is a cock piece? I actually
Like
don't
a
know.
little fucking ornament for your dick, like a metal thing that you put over your dick. It's like old school fucking cups.
I've never. People wear that as part of an outfit.
I don't know. Like I've only ever heard it as a joke or a punchline. So that's all my inference from it. But I've seen artist renditions of cod pieces or cock pieces. I don't know. But have a little trap door in there. Have your dong sprang out after you pop the top. You just can't stop.
I'd say. I mean, okay. I would say the only other thing I could think of, maybe a watch bottle opener. Watch bottle opener would actually probably be the easiest because
pretty easy.
Normally it's your non-dominant hand and you just fucking take it with your dominant hand.
And you could have it on your like wrist, like the underside, so no
That's
one
right
sees
there.
it, dude. So yeah, dude, just fucking pop it underneath, and people are like, "What the fuck do you just do?"
What blows my mind, dude, about watches that, to my knowledge, nobody's invented an analog watch. Like a hands.
That doesn't need a battery or what?
Well, no, this one doesn't need a battery.
It doesn't need a battery?
It charges by sunlight, dude. Citizen Echo Drive, boy. Dog, I'm rich, bro.
I never go outside, bro. It doesn't work.
I don't know what time it is. Fucking, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, all the features that watches have, dude. And why doesn't a watch have a thing where you can push the button where the second hand just operates as a compass needle? Where it just points to magnetic north if it's not telling you what second it is. How, of all things, their watches do so much shit. But you mean to tell me you haven't thought of making a magnetic second hand and just being able to loosen it from the gear so that you can just have it operate as a fucking... Come on, dude. There's got to be a watch that's done it.
Smart as shit.
It's
red, too. So it's just like a compass needle.
It literally... There's no reason why it shouldn't be done.
Excess compass needles.
Exactly. That's where they get their second hands from.
Yeah. The hour and the minute are just, they weren't painted red.
Couldn't use them.
Couldn't use them.
Anyway, that would be cool. I would totally take it because I would totally take it. I would absolutely wear that. Absolutely. I'd always know where north is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it could be like, how like you pull it out to like change the time and shit.
Uh-huh.
Pull it out even further and then it unsprings it.
True.
Or something. I don't even know. Or push it in. Push it in is good, too.
I think just a simple bop. Because pulling out the watch sucks, dude. Like, when you have the pull-out thing, you got to, like, take it off. You got to, like, dig your fingernails in there and, like... Because it's meant to not come out easily.
The coolest thing about the Apple Watch to me is that it's not on until you lift it up and look at it, and then the screen turns on. And it's like, yo. Because then it's just like,
But then it's that weird thing where you got to, like... Wait for it to pop on, dude.
But dude, it does it automatically.
I've never been into digital watches. Can't get into them.
Okay.
I much prefer I feel like it's way classier to have just like the fucking thing, just a nice watch.
When I was a watch guy, I was definitely.
You were a watch guy?
In middle school, I had a watch.
Ooh, that makes you a watch guy.
I lost it in the ocean, dude. I was sad as fuck.
Oh my god.
I was like, dude, I was mad.
How'd you lose in the ocean?
Just got ripped up by the waves playing in them.
Was it like a chain link metal thing, or was it?
No, it was like strap, or I might have even been Velcro, but it was just like one of those little digital face ones that's waterproof and shit. And dude, I was peeved.
Dude, I remember.
And I had just like a watch tan on
just
my
to remind
wrist
you
for
every
day.
You're lost.
Sharks wearing this shit now.
All the sharks know what time it is now. That was the only thing holding them back.
Yeah, dude.
They're coming up.
They're coming for us.
I remember asking my mom to take me to. That was a weird thing. Asking your mom to take you to some place so that you could buy something.
Yeah.
Or I asked her to take me to Target because I had scoped out this watch when we were grocery shopping.
Dude, once my brother got his license, just ask him a bunch of shit. Like, take me to, like, GameStop, dude. That's sick.
I would have liked having an older brother. I feel like that would have been cool. I'll have to ask Dom what it was like. He was a cool little brother. Still is. Still cool little brother. He literally got fucking famous Like, have you his fucking like stupid ass fucking sausage and mushroom pizza Snapchat thing?
Yeah.
That's like over 100,000 views.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like ridiculous. Like,
Is
holy
he getting
shit.
like some following off it
I
at all?
don't
Or
know,
no?
but like literally, like people are like tweeting it out separately from him, and he'll like comment on it and be like, "Thanks for the credit, LOL," and like everybody knows it's him, and they like fucking like it and shit. It's like, holy shit, dude. Like,
That's dope. Dude, is he gonna stop rapping now?
I think he might just become a Vine guy now. Now
Serious?
Vine 2.0 is coming
Vine's dead and is
out, coming back.
I guess. I don't know.
Dude, he could be the next gen of fucking Vine stars, dude. Because nobody's gonna watch like King Batch again and stuff. They might, but King Batch is probably on to bigger things now. He's probably doing fucking like.
Have you never heard that name get said before?
I've heard it said, and
King Bach.
is that what it's pronounced?
BACH, like Bach. Yeah.
Are you sure it's pronounced like that?
Yeah.
I said it to
There's
someone
T in it.
earlier today.
King Bach
I said it to someone literally like 2 hours ago.
is another white person.
He was actually like Nepali or something. I was at Seasons, so he's obviously Nepali.
King Bach. King Bach. Yeah.
He's like a kid like our age. Like he totally like he went to Towson High
Still
School.
talks like that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like, dude, you were born here. I just been working here too long. Nepali now. It's like you weren't even Nepali when you started here. I had to get out before I turned Nepalese, dude. I had to do it. Had to do it. But no, man, I said it to him when we were talking about Vine or something. We were talking about World Star Vine comps, and I was like King Batch, and he like didn't give me a reaction that represented that he knew what I just said. So in my mind, I was like, did I say this wrong? Was that not the proper name? Because like if you're gonna know any Vine person, it's gonna be him.
Yeah.
Like he was
King
like
Bach.
I just can't. I had no clue. It was King Bach.
That was just like a. I just said that jokingly too. I didn't think it was actually real.
Oh, do you actually not know if that's how it's pronounced?
No, I meant like I didn't think you actually like had that whole interaction where he just like what?
Oh, I totally did. I totally did. That
But no,
actually
yeah,
happened.
it is King Bach.
Yeah, he's not coming back to that. He's doing like Jimmy Tatra, the guy who did all the YouTube videos. Remember him?
No.
Well, he's in movies and fucking that's the only two people I can think. Timothy De La Ghetto, does he do other shit? He's on like MTV Wild
He's
Out
on,
and shit like that.
Wild and Out.
Which those shows are fucking dumb as fuck to me. I can't believe people watch that. Like the fucking like corny ass celebrity rap battles. Yeah. It's like, yo, you say this, but you do that. But honestly,
And it's
that
like on
shit
TV,
is whack.
So it's like it has to be censored.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That and they try to do that fucking celebrity sing-off based like a kind of like a spin-off of like when Jimmy Fallon would do that on his show.
Yeah.
Like the same thing like we were talking about like the Rob Corddry, not Rob Corddry, the fuck who's the guy who's like the kind of like
Corden.
James Corden, and he like does those like
Carpool karaoke shit.
Why
yeah.
is that funny and amusing to watch? Like that's so fucking dumb.
Know.
It's just people
like
you
celebrity
know.
shit. It's just like
It's like wow, they're just like
my
us.
God.
Oh my god, like
Jennifer Lawrence likes Rush. Wow.
Jennifer Lawrence
She's
is
so hot.
Jennifer Lawrence is already hot, dude. And I think the fact that she had those nudes leak made me think she was hotter.
True.
Honestly. Did you see him?
True. I had a theory. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but like all this, like all those like the fappening shit and all the celeb nude shit. It's like, who do you think they're sending them to? And now all this like Harvey Weinstein shit came out, and like, dude, people could backtrack and say they, you know,
she was forced to send those. I think that it was like pictures with her. I thought
dude,
you were.
I saw her like showing her like boob getting painted as Mystique and shit. There are some like deep cuts in those.
Wow, I only saw like the ones with like her sucking a dick or something like that, or like her after sucking a dick. Just anywhere in that progression.
Post, yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if that shit was like if you were like a celebrity and you had like a movie coming out at some point, like pulling a publicity stunt of like having those leaks so that like it can draw attention to your name and all of a sudden it's like, oh
I don't
shit.
think that was the case though for that stuff because it was all just like dumped at once.
The story with Jennifer Lawrence's thing was apparently it was put on the iCloud and somebody like hacked the
That
cloud.
was it for all of them though.
Oh shit! So it was all in one thing. It was all in one server. All these celebrity nude pics.
It like they didn't all get hacked at the same time, but like they all got released around the same like couple days.
I have nothing. I have nothing that's saved on my computer that I would be afraid of people seeing, other than like. Honestly, the only thing I wouldn't want people seeing. Or there was that one time. There was that one time when I left the OBS streaming on for like 3 days straight. Remember that?
Ah, yeah.
I definitely beat off. Like,
didn't want to look through it.
Yeah, of course I didn't. You kept on like. I was like, dude, no. There is a 100% chance that you're gonna click on a time when I'm beating off. Like, we're deleting this right the fuck now. Like, what are you doing? You were like, Jimmy, chill out. I was like, no, you chill out, dude. You chill out.
Dude, I know I beat off.
I'm not joking. I beat off here all the time. And we're deleting this video. So obviously that, but also like that like time when I was like, let me get this like a whirl at like commentating on a topic.
Oh, fucking I found it.
Yeah, and I was like, God damn it, dude. I was like, God damn it. Never do this again. Ruined.
Dude, honestly, I felt like I had like it was like the same feeling as finding like someone's diary or something. Or like just like something they'd never expect anyone to see. And I was like, oh my God. I gotta tell them about that.
Yeah, dude, that fucked with me, dude.
It did for real?
No, it didn't fuck with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I mean, some of it was good, but also a lot of it was just like getting heated at your like, you know, just solo. You're just like solo heating, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's why I miss all my fucking exits, dude. I swear.
You're thinking about that video,
dude. There are
finding it, dude?
Several times during my week I'll just be sitting there and
stewing over something.
The thought of you watching that video will cross my mind. And I'll just be like, oh, I just cringed to myself. I just cringed to myself. I was like, oh man,
dude, you brought it up right now too. I didn't bring that up.
Well, yeah, because I'm not like,
dude, I forgot about it.
Now you remember it.
Now I remember it. Yeah.
No,
I started roasting you about it again.
Damn, it was.
You literally brought it up. I didn't remember it.
Damn it.
I just remember finding it and being like, that's funny. But also, like, I remember I was just looking for, like, I recorded when Matt and Leland were doing a podcast here for a little bit before, and I don't think it ever came out, but like we recorded the episode and I was trying to find it, and then I was like, what's this? It's recorded like 12 hours ago. What is this? And then it's just your little YouTube video. And I didn't even watch the whole thing. I watched like
actually I disagree with you on the topic as well.
Yeah, I want to bring this up. Actually, can we bring that video up? Yeah, a minute 35. No, but no, yeah, I like skimmed through it a little bit. It wasn't like I wasn't like, ooh, got him.
Got him.
Finally, I got the dirt I need. I'm gonna burn it to 8 DVDs and scatter them around Towson.
Oh man. Yeah, dude, I didn't know, like I just like sometimes I'm like I think it's a better outlet. It's got to be a better outlet than fucking like getting in Facebook debates with people, because I get like so opinionated on shit that I'm like I got to fucking talk about this. Yeah. And a lot of times in the
it comes across better as like that instead of a fucking like comment and then like a comment a couple minutes later, or like a post and then like a post later that night or whatever. Yeah, it makes people look bad. Facebook, like honestly, the biggest like realization I had was just recently, dude. Like having Ian on was a cool experience, dude, because like
I literally like on Facebook we disagree on everything, dude. And like Ian gets like mad heated on Facebook, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I'll fucking like I'll get rowdy as well. But it's just like
It's
when you
also you guys just like entertaining yourselves. You know what I
exactly,
mean? Like it's
exactly. Which is like
just
weird.
social media. What's media? Entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
baby.
And it's like when you talk to him in person, it's like holy shit, because like there were plenty of topics that came up last week that like we obviously disagreed about, but the conversation the entire time was like civil as fuck. Like everybody was understanding where everybody was coming from and like going in on the next point, blah blah blah. That was awesome. And like honestly, a lot of the conversation happened after the podcast too. But
yeah, true.
but like I remember Chaz Ellis's brother got pissed at me on like was literally fucking pissed, like shitting on me about the fucking when I did that post about the dude that when we did that video about the cliffs.
Oh yeah, that shit blew up.
Dude, people were legitimately like offended or like mad or something. Like, is he such a fucking troll? Like, blah blah blah. I was like, dude, like I thought it would be funny, and a lot of people did find it funny. Like, I was at a gig at High Tops, and like, fucking these dudes in the crowd who like went to our school were like, Jimmy, the cliffs are fucking real, dude. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I was like mid-song. I was like, hell yeah, dude. This is awesome. But like, that was so funny. It was awesome, dude. It was honestly pretty fucking cool because I was like, okay, because I like to me, I was like, I obviously made that as like a parody post, but like for whatever reason, Chaz did not get it, and he was like, why are you always like trying to fuck with people online? I was like, dude, like I thought this would be funny, like literally, like
Dude,
people.
You didn't do that immediately, though.
Oh, I didn't. Absolutely.
You were also just like mudslinging too.
Oh, absolutely. I was
both,
mudslinging.
You guys are both in the dirt that day.
All right. Two. I totally feel bad about the shit I said later on. Some of the stuff that was said before, I couldn't understand why. Like, I couldn't comprehend that anybody couldn't understand that it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I was on there. I didn't realize you had like read through it, but
I read through some of it.
Like, I was on there and like I was saying like I need proof, and then like John Burkhart posts a photo of him at the.
No, you had a lot of like joke. He like it was definitely a thing where like I feel like you guys are both just trying to like one up each other, and then it just like no one called it quits.
Yeah. It was like when he like. That actually kind of like it didn't hurt my feelings at all. But like when he said that, I was like, damn, he's like when he said the whole thing about like just keep on making shitty music and like the first thing he said was he said, oh, I get what's going on here. Jimmy's show gets little to no attention, so he needs to post up videos about shit that people obviously know is true to try and make them react and stuff like that. And I was like,
damn, dude, our first hater.
I was like, wow, dude, that's how you're like.
That's the Charlie Kelly. It's wow.
It was like I couldn't believe that he's like, and like.
Oh no, that was definitely like
that was the cut
first move.
That was the shitty first move, and then after that, like, what am I supposed to do? I should have not done anything. But at that point, I was just like, dude, you know what? Like, oh, you popping that back here? You gotta light it manually. Oh, you got one, cool. But like, and then I felt bad because like. I commented on him like being a fucking burnout, drug out or whatever. Burnout druggie. Basically just like fucking like being too dumb to understand that it was a fucking joke. Like obviously it was a fucking joke. Why are you taking this so personally? And then like we were messaging back and forth. And like at first he was really like, no, dude, fuck you. Like honest, I was like, I just messaged him. It was funny because what was really fucking weird about that interaction is I messaged him after all that shit was over. And I was like, all right, so what's up? We're not friends anymore. And then his first response was like, dude, what are you talking about? Are we friends? We've never been friends. I've never been a big fan of you, like at all. Like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, shit. Like I was kind of on the impression, like, we all had like mutual friends and shit. Like, he was like, I don't know what people you're talking about. I was like fucking, I'm like boys with your brother. We all were friends with Beck, and we all used to hang out back in the day. Like, am I ridiculous for assuming that we were, like, cool or whatever like that? But he was obviously just, like, mad, and we talked it out. And then, like, what resolved everything was, like, I was just like, dude, do you understand that if we were having this conversation, like if we had that exact same conversation at like Beckman's house back in the day, there's no way we would have been like yelling at each other like that or angry or anything like that. Like this is all fake shit. Like this isn't real. Like the reason, he messaged back, he was like, yeah, I kind of get how like a lot of the sarcasm and shit like that isn't, translated when you're doing that. And it was like one of those things where we both came to realize, like by the end of it, we were like, yeah, man, like we should go out and grab a beer. Like we totally resolved it. But it was like one of those things where it was like, holy shit, like this is not us. Like this isn't real. And that was the same realization. And it was funny about that is when I was about to message him, the reason I said, what, so we're not friends anymore, was because the last time I had messaged him was in 2008. And I said, what, so we're not friends anymore? I was like, okay, so this is, I forgot about the last
didn't respond to that?
Yeah, it's like, dude, you asked me if we were friends in 2008 and I never responded. Why do you still think we're friends? I don't like you. I'm giving you a 9-year grace period, dude. I thought you were going to get back to me about that, and now it turns out we're not. Oh damn, totally misread that. Oh man. But then it's like, okay, if we're not friends, that's the thing I don't get about fucking Facebook. Is like, if you legitimately
why still be my friend on Facebook, or
Bingo.
Why comment on my shit?
Why comment on my shit? Why do you like some of the shit I say sometimes? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
If you like something I say, I assume we're friends. I just do.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assumption. Like, I would be friends with you.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't be friends with me, then that's disappointing to me. That makes me sad a little bit.
Yeah.
I've gone out to bar and like people, like, I don't know, dude. Like when I almost am kind of curious. I feel like I honestly really do feel like I regret like ever like starting shit up on Facebook and like saying that kind of stuff. I really do regret it because I feel like so many people that I consider my friends now think of me as like an asshole. Which is weird because in my opinion, I don't go on there, I don't shit post. I don't fucking like troll people and shit like that. Like there are people who go on there and fucking like and just fucking troll and just like fucking say ridiculous shit and like blah 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 blah. I just like post shit that I think and agree with. And like what bothers me is that people are like, oh, he's such a fucking troll. But it's like, if I say something that I think and it doesn't line up with what you think, that's not trolling.
Yeah.
Like trolling isn't like that. To me, that's a very egotistical, like narcissistic way of thinking about the world is if somebody thinks something other than what you think, they must be doing it to piss you off. I don't think the way I think to piss you off. You're not that important. I'm not that. Nobody's that fucking important. Like nobody's basing their entire like way of viewing the world based off of what they think is going to piss off person X on YouTube or Facebook. Like it just bothered me that like, okay, so what, dude? We fucking disagree on this, that, the other thing. Are you really going to fucking give me the side eye when I see you at the bar after not seeing you in 4 years? Like,
yeah,
really?
That's weird.
That's fucking weird. It's really fucking weird to me, dude. Like, oh, you're disappointed in me? Would you have liked it better if I was just like, the fucking clown from high school, just like class clown, joking around, doing stupid ass fucking shit? That's what you guys would have preferred, I guess? That was like the oh, I liked you when you were just fucking idiot that we could all make fun of.
I'm smart now.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't you see?
Jesus.
Yeah, man. I get it, though. I mean, but also, like, at the same time, next year when you see them all out at the bars, they're going to be like, oh, Jimmy, heard you talk shit about us on your podcast.
Yeah, exactly. At least now you have a fucking reason. Now, and you know what? That's way more respectable, dude.
True.
Way more respectable. You have a legit reason to dislike me now. And I haven't said any specific names except for a couple.
They already gave me the side.
Like at least they had the gumption to fucking say it then and there, dude. Like there's so many people who I didn't even realize saw anything I wrote. And you know what's weird to me is when somebody likes my shit that doesn't usually like it, and then I realize, oh, this person probably sees all my stuff, but just doesn't like 98% of it.
True.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing. It's like, oh, I didn't know this person even saw my shit.
Yeah.
And then like I'll post something that has nothing to do with politics, and like you'll get likes from like sometimes you'll like the shit, and I'll be like, Wait, how many statuses has Eric seen of mine and just scrolls right past them, dude?
Well, also, most of the time, I don't see, like, anyone's statuses.
True.
I usually just see, like, fucking cooking videos and shit in my feed. I see, and also, like, half the time when I'm scrolling through Facebook, I'm literally just scrolling through it. I'm like, what catches my eye?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking read everyone's status. I don't know.
I think Floyd Gotzi is one of the best people to follow on Facebook.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm always getting clogged up by his shit.
Dude, I fucking love he fucking just spends all day fucking just
Curating content.
He has so much content, dude. Like
Yeah,
Floyd
dude.
is 50% of my news intake
For
is
sure.
shit that Floyd shares, and I'm like, oh, this shit's happening now, okay. And half of the shit is like ridiculous. Half of the shit I like comment be like, yo, Floyd is dumb as fuck, boy, blah blah blah. The other half I'm like, I love this dude. Great. But all of it gets me thinking, dude. All of it gets me.
That's what people think about you too.
True.
They're like, ooh, I like this one because I like it. But why is Jimmy posting all this like weird shit about him being a Native American?
Did I say something?
No.
Damn
you
it.
didn't, dude.
Damn it. You know, it was weird because I had a dream that I made a status about being a Native American. And I remember the whole next day I was like, and I got a lot of flack for it in my dream. And I remember the whole next day I was like, Jimmy, whatever you do.
And that's when I knew I had to change my ways.
Yeah, dude.
Visited by the ghost of status present, past, and future.
Because that was when, you know what I've been doing recently, and it's a really good technique. It's really worked out for me, honestly. If I see something that I need to say something about, I comment, and then I immediately go to the top of the post and I say, unfollow notifications from this post.
Ooh.
And so I say what I need to say, and then I don't get any notifications with like, so-and-so comment, and then you pull it up, it's like, fuck you, dude, like, that's such an ignorant statement, like, blah, 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 and I'm just sitting there, like, at home, like, trying to enjoy my fucking cocktail, and somebody's just like, fuck you, dude, and then, like, Ricky's like, why are you on your phone? And I'm like, because fuck this guy,
Ding's
dude.
going off on the podcast.
Ding, 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 ding. It's just like a million notifications, like 3 angry faces, fucking like, no, damn it, that's so, like, I've said some shit that I'm sure that if I were to check right now, there's probably like at least like a couple comments of just people like, when I really realized that, dude, is when Hunter posted that fucking thing about the kid who was like who was doing the drag show stuff. And I just basically said like, yo, am I the only one here who thinks this could be kind of weird? Like I was like, the fact that this kid is just like dressed up in like this sexualized costume, just like dancing around doing all this like kind of shit in this kind of environment at like 8 years old. Am I the only, like, I feel like this is kind of fucked up. And dude, it was like, I got fucking munched by people, dude. Like literally, it was insane.
Well, I remember we talked to Jabari about that.
We did, and that's another person, dude. And you know what I give Jabari credit for is he is a super gracious fucking dude. Like I love Jabari. He's an awesome fucking guy.
Yeah,
he's
good
legit
guy.
Awesome. I really.
He's always doing something like for society.
Exactly.
It's like never like he's selfless.
He's a good guy.
Selfish.
He's a legitimately good
boy.
guy. I remember talking to my brother about that because my brother was like kind of stoked for that podcast because I told him I was like basically like this guy like does this, that, the other thing, and like is all about like trans this, blah 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 blah, and like I'm planning on talking to him about like, you know, all that stuff like Bill C-16, all that, you know, is sex different from gender, all that bullshit, and we addressed all of it, but he was like, dude, you didn't like go at him at all. Like you didn't like I guess my brother was hoping I was gonna fucking like Ben Shapiro this shit and just like fucking just like here are the facts. They don't care about your feelings, and then fucking just go off on a whole bunch of fucking shit. Just like talk so fast that the person's just like Ben Shapiro. In my eyes, I can't imagine.
Well, half the shit he says is like unintelligible. Like you just can't understand. He's like, I don't understand,
dude.
You know, Bill C.
He is one of those dudes. He's obviously a lawyer. He's obviously a lawyer, and that's what he is by profession, or at least what he was. And the dude, like, there is no one I'd rather have on my side for a debate than Ben Shapiro. Absolutely no one.
He slays in debates.
If I could pick like a debate team, I would say Ben Shapiro.
If I had to list my heroes on Facebook, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson.
I don't know if
Joe
I take Jordan.
Rogan.
Jordan Peterson was crossed my mind, but he's like so long-winded sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Him-
There's like time constraints.
Yeah, him and he and Stefan Molyneux. It's like, dude, I'd watch more of your videos if they weren't all like 45 minutes to an hour and a half long.
Just
Like,
you talking at the camera.
yeah, is there a way that you could just like say what you're trying to say? Because like most of the times I look at these things, I'm looking for somebody to guide me to an opinion.
Hi, my name is. He just does like that ASMR voice. The
Yeah.
fucking like, you are not alone. I am your guiding light.
Hold up, dude. Did you turn the wick back down? Because that thing's blazing right now. Cool. So no, I don't care. I mean, it's fine. It's just gonna get super fucking hot.
Yeah, true.
So you know, like it's just like sometimes I just want to watch something that like on a topic. Because this week I've been looking into a lot about like I've really been, and I think it's people call it being a contrarian. That's fine. I'll take it. Whatever. But there's something about when everybody gets so fucking self-righteous about something that has no idea why. Like the thing that's pissed me off this week and last has been the whole fucking like the net neutrality thing, dude. People are just fucking up in arms about it and just fucking putting all kinds of like this is the end. Oh, this is it. Like blah blah blah. Like we fucking destroyed. And it's just like it's almost like I don't even disagree with you, but I am so annoyed by how people are like tweeting out this shit that's like not true. Like Twitter's gonna cost this much and Google's gonna cost this much. It's just like all this like scare tactics, and it's all accepted because there's very little challenging to that. There's nobody saying like, wait a second, maybe this isn't the worst fucking thing ever. I mean, there's people saying it, but it's like
it's also, but like at the same time, like I don't know. I feel like in that scenario, you're just playing devil's advocate to be devil's advocate. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. I mean, I guess you could say that unless like, okay, so myself personally, I think that I'm not just saying it. I legitimately think that there is a valid
net
argument.
Neutrality is a bad thing.
No, not that net neutrality is a bad thing. That that there's a legitimate argument to not having net neutrality. I don't think it just comes down to like this is a bad thing, this is a good thing, and I think that's where people are steered clear. I
understand that like there's deeper layers to it, but I don't know. That's like kind of like a cut and dry thing where it's like, no, this is going to be used to make people who already can't get internet not be able to get internet, or like it's going to make the cost of shit to go up, or they're going to structure it like cell phone data plans or some bullshit.
Well, okay.
They're trying to get those things on the same playing field so they can fuck over home internet shit.
The argument, so at all these things, all these conversations usually come down to
Dude,
the free.
It's not even a thing about like free speech. I don't think like
Not free speech. I'm talking about
America. Yeah,
I'm talking about free market versus government regulation. And that's what all these arguments come down to. It's the same argument that people bring up when it comes to minimum wage. Should there be government-regulated wages and different things like that, or should we stay out of it and let the market handle it? Should there be government-mandated healthcare, or should we let the market handle it? Should there be government-mandated education? Should there be government-mandated housing? All these different things, they all come down to that baseline principle of free market versus government regulation, which is why...
Also, like, all of the communication companies are basically monopolies who have control. They're like mobs, dude. They're like... They have their own fucking towns. They have their areas. They have their cities. They have their whatever. And each of them has their share of the United States right now. There's like 3 companies that have all the infrastructure. Everyone else underneath of that just rents their shit through them. They get the money to use their bandwidth or whatever. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not... Like, it was a free market, and for the last 3 years, it was made sure that it was a free market because there's, like, threats to it being... Like, Obama put the net neutrality clauses in effect when people were starting to kind of toe the line of being like, all right, well, if we're making like this capital off of this shit, why can't we do it over here? Oh, because we introduced this back in the day when we didn't know we could make money off of this shit.
Well, the problem is that by mandating that internet service has to be provided equally for everyone.
That wasn't even net neutrality. Net neutrality was just to keep it unregulated so that it couldn't be either censored or like capped or like basically like, all right, here's the fast lane. If you want to be able to watch Netflix without it being slow to load or da-da-da-da, you have to pay this much or whatever. You know what I mean?
But that
like,
was the net neutrality thing was based on the principle that everyone had to pay the same, that you couldn't charge someone more based off of what they were streaming or what they were doing. That's what it came down to. Basically,
Sure.
So you look at a situation, for instance, where as an internet service provider, I didn't even realize this, but almost 40% of all internet traffic in North America, probably more if you just count United States, but in North America, so Mexico, Canada, United States, almost 40% of all internet traffic is Netflix. So when I was looking up on how and you probably understand it more than I do. So my impression of the internet is that the internet is like across the world, there's all kinds of infrastructure laid out where cables and different things lead information all throughout. And then the internet service provider, which you have as Comcast or Verizon, is what they kind of call like the last mile. So like whatever you stream from wherever eventually goes into Comcast or Verizon so that they can provide that to you. So they take care of the last mile of all that shit.
They're trying to force it through the infrastructure they built 10 years ago, and they don't want to update it because it's not cost effective.
Exactly. It's not cost effective because they're...
But why put your feet in the sand and not budge if like you're
I'm not arguing that they don't do it. What I'm saying is that when everyone is paying equally, the best way I can make it analogous is if you and your family were sharing a data plan and one member of the family was using up like 90% of it, but you all had to pay equally for it. So you're just going on and checking Facebook every now and then your sister is fucking watching streaming YouTube videos all day. But you all have to pay for that equally. So what the argument for repealing those regulations, or at least some of them, they weren't all repealed. The internet isn't a fucking...
The reason cell phone data plans were able to do that is because they weren't classified as broadband.
Yeah, sure. But so in a way, so what I'm saying is that people are saying that the cost of getting on the internet is going to increase. I disagree with that.
The cost of the implied cost of cell phone networks is that they have to send it up into space and beam it down to your phone.
Okay.
All of the infrastructure for the internet, pre-cell phone, all that shit has been in the ground since then, pretty much. Comcast, like all that shit used to run off old phone lines. They've been just like hijacking different lanes of sending shit. Like Comcast had the cable lines down. They're like, oh shit, we can send the internet through the cable lines.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I think the U.S. infrastructure for the internet is on par with third world countries.
With net neutrality. What I'm trying to say is I don't think it would be harmful to say, look, guys, here's a logical argument. If everybody didn't have to pay equally for the same amount of shit, and some people could just be allowed basic access to the internet without being what about the other 60% of the world? 40% of the internet is taken up by Netflix. What if the other 60% didn't have to pay for that 40%? What if the other 60% could pay for a baseline internet package where they don't need fucking HD streaming, but they can still watch YouTube? They don't need fucking, Netflix, but they can still Google shit, go on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And their basic access to internet price would be lower because they're not having to subsidize the other 40%. I don't think that's a crazy theory to have. And that's not me saying like, and therefore, I think the repeal of net neutrality was a good thing. All I'm saying is like, people get on there like, this is the worst thing ever, and I'm not entirely convinced. I don't think that it's that cut and dry. I really don't. I really think it's a mistake to go out and just say, well, this is just so obviously dumb. But it's like, it can't be. Like, why? It's the same argument for healthcare. Why did people's healthcare premiums go up? Because all of a sudden you can't discriminate based off of, okay, well, this guy with 6 fucking diseases and he's in his 80s and blah, 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 has to pay the same amount of health insurance as somebody that's our age and doesn't have any pre-existing conditions. Like, obviously, someone our age could get insurance for way fucking cheaper if it was actually based off of what we actually need, but it's not. It's based off of what everyone needs, so we all share that equally. Argue it back and forth, whatever. I'm saying it's the same principle for the internet. Everyone is paying equally for access to an internet that only...
Net neutrality wasn't like an 800-page document about healthcare for every citizen in the United States. It was
an 800-page document about internet for every person in the United States.
No, it was a document restricting companies from...
discriminating. Same thing as healthcare. They stopped healthcare providers from discriminating.
In net neutrality, did they force everyone to buy internet?
No, I mean, there's obviously differences in between it.
Like a tax?
But if you want internet, that's how much you pay. And if we're now going to sit here as a society and declare internet as a basic human right, then that's what it is. If everybody needs internet as badly as everybody says we do, which I agree. In fact, there's plenty of discussions people have all the time, like, okay, so you're going to tell me that something that was invented 30 years ago is all of a sudden a basic human right. I would say you could definitely argue for that if you were to say that basic internet access, which is the ability to search Google, gain information, all those different aspects of the internet, that if the cost of paying for everything else wasn't included in that cost, that would allow for much more people who can't otherwise afford access to internet to be able to at least access that.
Okay, think of your internet service provider as a gate.
Okay.
You pay to open, you pay to have a gate come from them to your house, and then they open up to a wide world of shit that they have nothing to do with. Just servers all over the place, but connected all over the world through the internet, through the web, you know? The internet, I don't think the internet should be tied to these service providers. It opens up a world of possibilities. Yes, there is good, but also, like, dude, when has shit that's supposed to be beneficial, when like it gets repealed and then it helps people? Or people like, oh, finally, now that barricade's gone to stop us from doing the bad shit, we're just gonna actually turn heel. Why do you think, like, dude, do you not think that, like, lobbyists paid for by like any of the big companies, you don't think they had any influence over any of this shit going on?
And you don't think lobbyists from Netflix and all those other big streaming companies had any influence in the 2015 bill? Of course they did. Of course Netflix wants net neutrality. Of course they want it, because they can take up 40% of the fucking internet and not have to have them cost any more than chess.com. And that's good for them. So of course they're going to push for that and then go online and push it as some human rights issue or something like that. I don't fucking buy it. I really don't. They might be right. Their cause, like the means to their end, like net neutrality in the long run might be a good thing, but I don't think that these companies like Netflix and all that are legitimately concerned about, like, well, you're eliminating the availability for other startups and all this other bullshit they pump out to the public to make them fucking scared of it. They want it because it's better for them. Just like Comcast doesn't want it because it's better for them. It doesn't make, you can't say that one's evil for seeking their own benefit and the other one isn't. Because at the end of the day, Netflix costs Comcast more than any other website on the internet. Fact. So if if Comcast is required to absorb that cost and distribute that cost among all of its consumers, all of its clients, then that naturally means that all of its clients' prices have risen. Unless they could say, look, if you want service to this, you pay this, and if you don't need all this bullshit HD video streaming, you pay this.
All right, but what happens when, like, someone tries to start an online store and they can't afford to buy any sort of traffic through those companies to get anyone on the site?
Here's what I think. I don't think when this is, because obviously now it's already been repealed, and so unless they reverse the repeal, we're going to see what happens. But what I think is probably going to happen is exactly what you were saying before, which is they'll treat internet bandwidth much like a data plan. Let's say you're a kid who lives in New York, or fuck it, you're fucking Dewey from our high school. He fucking went to the public library every day to get on the computer for, and he had to, sign in for a computer, sit there with a certain time limit or whatever, because his family could not afford internet access from their house. Let's say that all of a sudden there was a provision that allowed for internet service providers to allow a minimum limited data plan for internet access that was far cheaper than what we would have to pay right now for basic internet access. That would allow him to do all the things that he was doing once a week at the fucking library without leaving his house. They would also obviously allow an unlimited plan, like, just like data providers allow an unlimited plan, but they also allow other options that say if you only want this many gigs, you get this. If you only want that many, you get this. If you want unlimited, you pay this. I guarantee you the price of unlimited would not be higher than the price of everything is right now. I can't imagine how it would. It might be a little bit higher. But also the price of basic access to internet, meaning the price of getting a fucking modem in your house as opposed to having to walk to a library to access fucking Google, would be way fucking cheaper. There's no way that you're going to tell me that all of a sudden, when everybody's paying equally for shit that only 40% of the internet is using, that if you say that now everybody pays for what they have to pay for, the people that aren't using all that shit and are just, the argument they put out is like, these kids in city schools, they just need basic access. I believe that if we allow the service providers to put out limited services for cheaper money, then those kids will have access, because maybe they can't afford Comcast right now at the current price it is, because they're paying for fucking my girlfriend watching Netflix all day up in the city. They don't need that shit. That's not why they're trying to get on the internet. They're trying to get on the internet to study for school or something like that. So why do they have to pay the same price as Ricky?
They can't just tear up the whole city to put in lines. It's either just not being able to get it through the city, not being able to get it through lobbying reasons, or it's not anywhere set in. There's not like, in the Maryland House of Delegates, a bill going through that says, hey, only Comcast or Verizon can do internet.
I think that it would be the same type of situation that you experience with AT&T and Verizon. You have all those little knockoff companies like T-Mobile, Sprint, fucking Boost Mobile, Cricket, all these small-time plans that aren't nearly as good. They
rent off the backbone of companies, though.
But why couldn't smaller internet providers do the same thing if that's the case? If they can run through Comcast's infrastructure and provide cheaper service that doesn't allow you as much, but they can get it to the consumer in New York City or Baltimore City that can't afford Comcast, and they can say, look, we're renting out Comcast infrastructure and we can provide you the Boost Mobile of internet service, meaning you get this amount of gigs per month, but it's only going to cost you this much. So your kid can actually buy a computer now and not have to walk to the library. I don't see how that's not possible. The only thing I could see getting in the way of that is laws saying you can't do that, in which case I say get rid of those too.
And if a smaller company tried to go to one of the bigger infrastructure places and try to piggyback off their backbone of their data network, who sets the pricing there?
Well, why did it work for Boost Mobile and Cricket? Obviously, there's some benefit. Obviously, they can work out some deal. All I'm saying is you can observe that process in other industries. Like if Boost Mobile and Cricket can do it, why can't an internet service provider do it?
Well, it's also a thing that you make money hand over fist when you go from a system with cell data that when cell data came out initially, it was unlimited no matter what. It was just unlimited. You paid for data. Data was expensive.
I don't
but
actually
it was
remember
unlimited.
that, but I believe you.
And then everyone started getting smartphones. So yes, it pulled a strain on their network, but every fucking year, every other year, they came up with a new network. So they handled the problem with too many people being on the network, but at the same time, they get to have a new solution for, all right, now that we made this new thing, we're not going to do the unlimited anymore, but this is a faster.
Sure.
You're going to go fast.
So, okay, so imagine...
But you're only going to get 5 gigs.
Sure, but imagine if that same situation happened. So imagine the situation where they allowed unlimited data for anybody who had a plan. And then they started realizing people were getting smartphones. Now all of a sudden people are using data. They were able to work with that cost because not many people were using data. It just wasn't a thing. All of a sudden, people are getting smartphones, and now all of a sudden, data is like one of the primary occupiers.
But now it's not, because they fixed it and it's not a problem anymore.
But how did they fix it? They fixed it by saying they didn't fix. Imagine if there was a law. Imagine if there was a law in place at that time that says anybody who has a phone plan is required to have unbridled access to data. And so all of a sudden, when the cell phone companies realize that they have to now, that all of a sudden people are using this thing that they originally gave for free at an unbelievable rate, and it's costing them all kinds of money to provide it. And now just the price of having a basic phone plan has gone up. So now there is, but it didn't, because what they did was they said, okay, so we understand that there are people who want data. We also understand there are people who don't need it. Most people's parents aren't using data like that. So why is my dad and mom, why shouldn't they be afforded the option of saying, you know what, I don't use any fucking data. I just want to be able to call and text. Can I do that? How much does that cost? $20 a month? Awesome, let me get that. Not, well, sorry, sir, you can't do just $20 a month because everyone needs to buy an unlimited data plan. So this is how much it costs to give everyone unlimited data, and that's how much everyone pays. I don't care if you're somebody's grandmother who calls somebody once a month. I don't care if you're somebody's fucking niece who's streaming YouTube videos all day. It's the same price for everybody. All I'm saying is I don't see a problem necessarily with allowing people access to just baseline internet. I think that price would get cheaper. I really do. And if our main concern is just to make sure that everyone has access to this commodity, then the best thing is not to say everyone gets equal access, but everyone gets access. Because if we say everyone gets equal access, what we really mean is everyone pays equally for it. And guess what? Most people, a lot of people, not most people, but a lot of people can't fucking afford that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I
just think that there's more to it than, like I said, just the idea of just saying something like net neutrality, which is 2 words that encompasses an entire 800-page document, that just saying something as simple as we're going to repeal net neutrality is as far as a lot of people go in their decision-making for whether or not that's a good or bad thing. I really do believe that. Like, I'm not the type of person that's going to say, this thing is simply just stupid. I don't think the world's that fucking simple. I don't think that you can just look at something and just, like, to me, that's picking a side. To me, the perfect...
But why are you afraid to pick a side?
No, I'm not afraid to pick a side. I'm certainly afraid to pick a side without examining both sides, which I don't think is something that a lot of people that are piggybacking on either side think. I really don't. I think it's like, oh, well, what's this person's opinion on? What's that person's opinion on? Okay, what am I seeing on Facebook? Well, okay, that's how I feel about it. I'm going to text to fucking this number and then show that I support it, even though I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue. I just resist it. I resist it. I don't think...
I don't disagree that is bullshit. I don't disagree that all the social media activism bullshit isn't just bullshit.
Sure.
But also at the same time, like, something shitty happened last week, and it's like, you know...
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away.